Hey, Mr. Manly here with lesson number 107 in How to Be Manly. Hoisting down a few the other night with the boys, they were talking about the golf tournament coming up called Fairway to Heaven. Of course, I inquired, and they said it's put on by Rock 107, and it fills up every year. My brother and his wife are golfers, and they're going to the tournament, and as luck would have it, my brother said he knew of a fourth that may be interested in me. I said, well, let's tee it up. Maybe we can get in a practice round. I received her number, and her name was Penny. We agreed to go out that evening for 9 holes. Well, one look at Penny, and I was hopeful for a hole in one. I said, what got you into golf? She said, I like a long, hard drive. Next, the positioning for the approach shot. Then, with my putter in hands, making that final stroke, and I'll shout birdie. Well, I was soaring like an eagle, and I knew I could handle this in a manly manner. If you ever find yourself in a similar situation, follow along in your manly manual, page number 107, and repeat after me. Number 1, shoo-wee Penny, I have a driver you're sure to like, 'cause it's long and hard. Number 2, hey, you show me the position, and I'll approach with a shot. And number 3, yes, make that final stroke, and tonight we'll both shout birdie. Soon after, as Penny shows you a position you've never encountered, as she drives you long and hard into the sand trap, then completing her final stroke by hitting you on the head with the sand rake, you'll realize just what kind of man you really are. Until next time, this is Mr. Manly saying be manly and good day.
Breaking the news that's already broken. It's time for Prospector's Briefs on Rock 107.
Today is Friday the 13th. Kevin Hart will observe it by avoiding walking under a black cat. Yesterday was National Farmers Day. Good to hear there's a day about guys who plant their seed, not named Nick Cannon. Sammy Hagar turns 76 today. Sammy still can't drive 55, but now that's because his rascal scooter tops out at 18.
It's 60 Minutes meets Gone in 60 Seconds. Tune in Monday for Prospector's Briefs on Rock 107. Please be advised that the football predictions in Tara's takes are as reliable as a squirrel with a crystal ball. They may lead to uncontrollable fits of laughter, head-scratching confusion, or, in rare cases, inexplicable outbreaks of interpretive dance. Remember, trusting Tara's takes with your football betting decisions is akin to asking a goldfish for stock market advice. In other words, proceed at your own risk. Rock 107 hereby absolves ourselves from any responsibility for lost bets, puzzled looks, or unexpected dance-off injuries that may result from heeding Tara's football wisdom. Enjoy, and may the football gods have mercy on your wagers.
My wonderful wife, Tara, on the phone, 2-2 last week, and I figured it out. You're just almost at 600 as far as the batting average goes for these NFL seasons so far, which is pretty good considering. Do you know anything about football?
No.
All right, so we're going to pick 4 games. We're going to see how you do this week. Game number 1, Baltimore versus Tennessee. That game is going on in London. What are you thinking, T?
Baltimore.
You're going to take Baltimore. Any particular reason?
No.
No reason to know. Perfect. Game number 2, Minnesota and Chicago. An NFC North battle for Minnesota at Chicago.
I had to say Minnesota because of your brother.
My younger brother, Scott, a big Minnesota Viking fan, so that's why you're leaning that way?
Yes.
I'm not sure that's good reasoning, but fine. Team you've had good luck with, Miami taking on Carolina in Miami. You've had good luck riding Miami this year. What are you going to do?
Miami.
Going on that Miami Dolphin bandwagon still for this one, right?
Yep.
And game number 4, you get to pick San Francisco in Ohio to take on the Cleveland Browns. Who are you picking in this game?
I'm so sorry. It has to be the 49ers.
You know how much I hate the 49ers.
I know, but it has to be because you know they're going to win.
I'm not saying it's a bad pick. I'm just saying I hate that pick, and it might be grounds for divorce.
No!
All right, so we're going to go over it again. You picked Baltimore, you picked Minnesota, Miami, and San Francisco. Those are your 4 picks. We'll see how you did come Monday. And once again, what do you know about football?
Nothing.
The following rant may cause you to pull your hair out, scream at the radio, punch the dashboard. Complaints should be addressed to Loudmouth Yambag at rock107.com.
Hey, I'm Rock 107's Prospector, and here's what's got me jacked. Let's talk about grocery shopping. Many of us do it. Few of us look forward to it. I mean, I do it every week, which is kind of my fault that I get dragged to the supermarket every week. But when my wife Tara and I started getting serious, I would often go shopping with her in an effort to spend a little more time together. Well, now it's mandatory. So every week I trudge up and down the aisles, fighting the good fight, grabbing what we need for the week with my wife. And let me tell you, I don't love it. No, I don't. Lots of things get me aggravated at the grocery store, but the number one annoyance, the one thing that's got me ready to throw fists at the drop of a hat, is the shopping carts. Now, most of them pull left or right, no matter how hard you lean into steering them. Some of them even seem to have their own intermittent braking system, so when you finally do get it going straight, it locks up on you and you bang, smash your shin into the metal. Ah! But by far, the worst part of shopping carts is the other people using them. People do not know how to operate their shopping carts. They don't. I think you should treat the cart like a car. Stay in your lane, your side of the aisle, left or right, I don't care which. Just don't weave back and forth down the spice aisle like Dina Lohan behind the wheel after a night of clubbing. Try to remember there are other people in the store. Also, don't leave your cart perpendicular to the shelves in the middle of the bread aisle while you go down to the deli and waste 23 minutes getting bologna sliced thinner than the reasoning for a roughing the passer call in the NFL. And for crying out loud, please, for the love of all that's holy, don't stand there blocking the aisle while you and the missus argue about what flavor Pop-Tart Jr. likes. The rest of us are stacked up behind you like the cholesterol that fills your arteries. We're wanting to get by. How many times do I have to say excuse me before it's permissible to ram the shopping cart into your massive cankles, you yam bag? Get to one side so we can all shop and get away from your foul stench of Red Bull and B.O. Hey, while you're in the store, head down to aisle 3. That's where they keep the body wash. I'm Prospector. I'm for the people. Who's with me? I gotta go crazy, man.
Ever see the crazy guy screaming at the wall outside the Times building?
Where does this rage come from, my son?
Tweet us with hashtag #IFoundProspector and we'll come and get him. Prospector, mornings on Rock 107. Life's pretty tough right now. There's plenty of bad news, but it's not all bad. It's time for the brighter side of Prospector on Rock 107.
Here's a nice reminder about priorities. A woman in South Carolina named Selena Webb loves Halloween, and she put out a bunch of decorations in her yard, including a fake coffin, which she ended up removing. Here's why. A neighbor stopped by last week to let her know his dad just got a cancer diagnosis, and they both agreed he may not want to see a coffin outside of his window every day right now. She said she thought about the bigger picture and decided to get rid of it. Quote, kindness is free and compassion goes a long way.
Thanks. We needed that. The brighter side of Prospector on Rock 107.
Thanks for listening to Prospector's Prime Cuts podcast. Be sure to catch us live weekdays from 5:30 to 10 a.m. on Rock 107 or online at rock107.com or the Rock 107 app, a free download for your Android or iPhone. Subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher Radio, or wherever you get your podcasts so you never miss Prospector's Prime Cuts.
Ladies and gentlemen, grab the kids, call your neighbors, and gather round the radio.
It's now time to announce the winner of Prospector's Yam Bag of the Week, as decided by you at rock107.com.
We uncover the most baffling, ridiculous, pathetic, cockeyed, laughable, preposterous blunders in the world of misdeeds. Nominee number 1.
If you're a 77-year-old drug dealer, it makes sense to stick with what you know best. A 77-year-old man from Florida named Reginald Kinser has been arrested for trafficking erectile dysfunction drugs. Reginald somehow received more than $1,800 worth of ED drugs without a prescription from a licensed doctor. Prosecutors say he planned to deal them to others locally. Reginald doesn't just deal in bedroom pills. He was also arrested back in 2020 for possession of several drugs, including marijuana, MDMA, and psilocybin. A trial's been set for next month. If he's convicted, he faces up to a year in federal prison and a fine of up to $10,000.
Nominee number 2.
You've heard of dining and dashing. What about dining and heart attacking? A 50-year-old man in Spain is being accused of faking a heart attack just to get out of paying a restaurant bill, which seems very dramatic, especially since he's apparently done it at least 20 times. So he's a chronic dine and heart attacker. One of the restaurants said he ordered several glasses of white label whiskey to wash down a Russian salad before faking the heart attack. And multiple restaurants have been passing his photo around to warn other places. The man has since been caught and was sentenced to 42 days in jail, but he could be in more trouble. His scams were considered minor crimes because the totals weren't a lot individually, but the restaurant owners are planning to file a joint complaint, which could lock him up for 2 years.
Nominee number 3.
You felt this urge, but you resisted because you're a good person. Not so much for 74-year-old school bus driver William Slavinsky. He must have been in quite the rush as the school was being dismissed because he used the bus he was driving with 9 minors and a coach on board to ram a taxi in front of him 5 times. The taxi had 1 minor in the vehicle. The front of the school bus repeatedly struck the rear of the taxi 5 times, state police said. Luckily, no one was hurt, but both vehicles left the scene without reporting the incident. Slavinsky was arrested and charged with evading responsibility, reckless driving, and 9 counts of risking injury to a minor. The operator of the taxi, 69-year-old Brian Neal, was also arrested and charged with evading responsibility.
Nominee number 4.
Maybe this lady really just needed a place to lie down. A 41-year-old drunk woman was arrested after attacking a mattress store mascot in Durango, Colorado. It happened outside a store called The Mattress Outlet on September 27th. Their mascot is a 6-foot-tall mattress named Maddie. The employee who was playing Maddie was only a few minutes into his shift when the woman showed up and started hugging him, but she quickly became aggressive. The manager described her as, quote, drunk out of her mind, end quote. He says she kept trying to shove and even trip Marty to get him to the ground and eventually did knock him down. Then she stood over him screaming profanities. Maddie got up, ran inside, and held the door while they called 911. Meanwhile, she kept banging on the door and threw a sign they set up outside. Cops caught up with her a block away and arrested her for assault.
And the winner is
the school bus driver who rammed a taxi 5 times with his bus while kids were inside. Look, I get being impatient. I get being in a rush. I even get being stressed out by the kids inside the bus. I don't get ramming the car in front of you 5 times. You are the Yam Bag of the Week. Stay tuned for more nominees for Prospector's Yam Bag of the Day, weekday mornings right here on Rock 107.